So, Kiefer, it feels like Pompeii is actually having a renaissance of itself. Our British Museum just had a exhibition last
Huge
year.
exhibition, yeah.
And a successful British band just had a chart-topping single called Pompeii.
Oh, wow.
Why is this historic setting so compelling as a backdrop for the tragic tale?
I think it's compelling on so many different levels. I mean, the film itself is a love story and set against one of the great tragedies in our history. But I think also we're watching our world change, whether it's global warming, but a series of natural disasters have actually, in the course of my lifetime, have hit in the last 10 years, whether it be tsunamis, earthquakes, etc. And the impact to human life is devastating. And I think we're compassionate by nature, and I think we have a sense of understanding of that. And it's so out of our control. And I think man believes that it can control everything. I mean, if you take a look at what we've done to the planet in the last 100 years since the Industrial Revolution, and take a look at New York City, London, I mean, it's the impact that we've made on the planet is huge. And so it's very easy to lull yourself into this sense of we can fix and do anything. And Mother Nature can show you very quickly, if she chooses, I can knock it all down like that. And it's a very humbling experience, and I think that is always going to be of great interest to us from every aspect, whether it's simply survival or just understanding our place in the world.
And your character, Senator Corvus, is a real piece of work.
Yeah.
What motivates this man? I think I lost count of the number of times he said, just kill them all.
He's the worst that man can be. What motivates him is selfishness, is greed, is all of the things that we try within a larger society to try and not be. Not only is he all of those things, but there's a real joy that the character has in being that, which I have to say as an actor was a lot of fun to play, and I had a really wonderful time.
And the film boasts a great British cast with Kit Harington, Jared Harris and the director Paul Anderson. And I enjoyed hearing your impressive British accent. How much did you relish this throwback to your roots?
We shot the film predominantly. I mean, we did shoot a couple weeks in Pompeii, but we shot predominantly in Toronto, which is where I grew up. So it was kind of fantastic having them all there in my city. The nationality was not as much of an issue as I'm a huge fan of Kit's work. Game of Thrones is kind of one of my guilty pleasures. I've watched every episode. And Paul specifically has an understanding of kind of current technology and what he can do with a film more than any other director I've ever worked with. In fact, this was the first live-action 3D film I've ever made, and I couldn't tell you that I noticed a difference in the process of making the movie than I would an episode of 24. And that speaks volumes to his understanding of that technology and not making it everybody else's responsibility. So it's been a long time since I've been a part of a film that was this big, this kind of epic in scope. So I was thrilled to work with him for that.
And finally, I saw some of the photos of the new series of 24 being shot in London.
Mm-hmm.
How thrilled are you to return to the role of Jack Bauer, and what does London offer as a setting?
It's been about 4 years since we did 24. We missed it. Howard Gordon, the writer, was having huge success with Homeland. They had won, in the States, they had won Emmys and Golden Globes and everything you could possibly win for that. Huge accolades, huge audience. And this thing about 24 was still nagging him, and he called me up and said, I've got this idea for 12 episodes. Would you ever be interested? And I was like, how good's your idea? And he said, I think it's pretty good. And that was it. I said, yeah, let's do it. And the idea is, in fact, great. Now that we're making it, quite scared, You know, because if you're not going to make the best season of 24 now, why start? We had kind of closed the book on that. But cautiously optimistic that we're going to do something hopefully very special. And then Howard, you know, wanted to put the story in London, and I thought that was very fitting because in the first season of 24, it took a while to catch on in the States, but it broke in England, or London specifically, very quickly. And if it had not been for the success that we had had here, I don't think the show would have survived. So this is our way of paying homage to that.
Kiefer Sutherland, thank you very much.
Thank you very much for
pleasure.
having me. Cheers.
Lovely to meet you.